Let's dispel some weight training myths, or at least what they've composed here is some sort of a myth about weight training. It's not a very long article. We'll get into that, and then we'll also talking about disassociating yourself from a structured gym and then just setting up your exercise facility wherever you want it to be so you don't have to butt up against any of these perceived problems that are out there. Get the excuses out of the way and get yourself fit in the comfort of your own domicile. When you think about working out, what do you think? The big men, big young men with the big muscles and a lot of attitude. Not really. No, that just sounds kind of odd, but whatever. I guess if you're just taking your exercise advice from 80s action films, but whatever. That mentality could be putting your heart at risk. The benefits of exercise are for everybody, in fact, and they may be more profound for older individuals and women in particular. Yes, women and old people most affected. New data has found that women and men gain muscle at the same speed when it comes to size and strength, but they adapt to resistance training protocol. Oh, really? I would love to see that data because 17 times more testosterone, the primary muscle building hormone in the human body, is present in men. So I would just love to see, and they don't link out to any of that stuff. So there's another myth that they probably aren't counting as a myth, but I'm sure new data found that men and women are practically the same. Get something. Anyways, this added muscle can help improve balance, heart health, metabolism, mobility, and more. There's nothing disagreeable about that statement there. That's just facts. The study reviewed data involving over 650 men and 750 women between the ages of 50 and 90. After testosterone levels go through the floor, I can understand this a little bit more, but still my trepidation's right there. And if we're just going from a base level, okay, as when it comes to, high level stuff, okay, extended exercise use and following a regimented program, there is no woman who would look the same as the exact same man if they were both adhering to the same schedule. That is incomprehensible amounts of misinformation, right? Those are just flat out lies. I won't even use that terminology. But let's see what they're doing here, okay? But yeah, no, it's 50 to 90-year-olds with no previous experience in resistance training. Yeah, so exactly. You got to outline, okay, the parameters of that. You can't just be making those blanket statements. That's irresponsible and a falsity. So you're just going to slip there for a moment. I get very passionate about this stuff, gosh darn it. Results weren't identical between genders, however. Wait, what? No, you just said that men and women gain muscle at the same speed. Ugh! Men saw greater gains in their upper body, while women experienced more in their lower body. Yeah, no doubt. That's the way that we're built. So imagine that. Biology plays a factor. Just only when it's convenient to our narrative, and then we'll just clean it up later. This is consistent with previous findings. Further, the researchers suggested varying approaches between the genders. They recommend that older men may benefit from higher intensity programs, while women will, benefit from sitting around a sewing circle. Anyways, may do better with a higher volume. Interesting. Where's your sources on that? Okay, put simply, men may benefit from going heavier with fewer repetitions. Yeah, building strength because of that pesky hormone testosterone. While women may benefit more from lighter weights with more repetition. Yeah, less testosterone, more of a resistance, okay, more of a endurance build because they don't ascertain the same muscle mass that's out there. Okay, that's just a fact of life. If you're worried about lifting weights turning into a muscle-bound giant, okay, oh God, I don't want to pull the ASA card, but being a personal trainer and consulting with many a young woman who wants to start a weight training program, one of the biggest complaints, one of the most hack lines that you can ever hear from somebody, something that will drive you up the walls, right up there with, I don't want to, I just want to lose certain amounts of weight, but I just want to like tone up my butt and get like that nice butt, and I just want to do squats and do that weird exercise where it's kind of like humping the Smith machine bar, but at the same time I think that's working my butt, but you're only working your like hip flexors and you're just doing it all wrong. But then at the same time, I just don't want to get too bulky. Listen, you aren't going to be eating enough to get too bulky, and you don't have the right body chemistry to become too big of a muscle bound giant. And fact of the matter is, you don't have the dedication, you don't really have the want to, because you just want to spot reduce and you just kind of want to spot tone. I just want to kind of sit down and I want to do the leg kicking machine. Ugh. However, if you want to help burn fat, remain independent, help reduce a risk of osteoporosis, promote bone density, that would be the same thing, but I guess you needed to hit a word cap, and fight back against the older age-related chronic illnesses like type 2 diabetes, arthritis, and heart disease. Yeah, no, they said that they were going to dispel some weight training myths, but in actuality, they didn't. They just reinforced the norms that are out there. So if you don't want to be getting any pseudoscience like this from any of the local trainers that are out there who have next to no experience, little training at all, and have just always naturally been a healthy weight. But, you know, I started lifting weights and then I just got into better shape. It's wonderful how that happens. So yeah, if you just want to shelve all that stuff, you want to get more scientifically based advice, okay, do your own research, set up your own accredited program, and then, hey, set up your own gym, okay? That's what I'd always recommend, okay? I did it for myself. You don't need a big space, but if you have a big space, of course, you just fill it up with sweet equipment and stuff like that. So what do you need to be setting up a home gym? Funny you should ask. A home gym can be an investment, whereas gym memberships are responsible for monthly or yearly memberships. And yeah, they can just take their time in order to repair the machines that some dork just shows up and breaks on purpose.
I just wanted, it wasn't going heavy enough, so I just set a dumbbell on top, and how was I supposed to know the dumbbell was going to fall off and snap some cables? What are you guys, stupid?
You laugh, but I've seen that stuff happen before. Anyways, moreover, it only takes care of the equipment and services periodically, but you can do that the same thing, okay? You just need to get low maintenance machines, okay? Free weights versus strength training machines, okay? If you're a rank novice, I would recommend probably going to get something set up properly from an accredited trainer, okay? Something like that specifically for them to walk you through the exercises, because you probably have the best of intentions out there, but your form is going to be terribly off, okay? And you can watch videos. I remember bodybuilding.com used to have a great resource. I don't even know if they still do when it comes to breaking down specific exercises, but without a mirror or without a way to properly look at your form, you might end up doing it wrong and causing yourself more long-term injury. So if you don't have the body or spatial awareness of that, go and get somebody to walk you through the proper way to do exercises, okay? And then it's easier to do if you are a rank amateur, if you are a novice, to be using strength training machines, okay? Actually, funny story, but this is also pointing out an outlier, but it also shows you how good strength training machines are, even for people as advanced as, say, like a 7-time Mr. Olympia. Phil Heath trained exclusively on strength training machines, or as exclusively as he could, okay? And he didn't lift heavy like Ronnie Coleman. He trained on machines so he wouldn't get injured, okay? And that everything was controlled and that he could just work to failure within the comfort and confines of machines. So it is possible to get to be, well, literally at the peak of human physique, okay? But then also get you on the right track so that you can work towards free weights, because free weights are a little bit better at activating everything else that's out there, the stabilizing muscles, okay? And then it's just easy to transition quickly to a different exercise if you have a dumbbell, as opposed to how can you really work your legs on a chest press machine? It doesn't really work. So, and again, if you're setting up a home gym without having something, you know, like a big cable machine where you can just have different attachments, free weights are going to be a better space-saving alternative. All right. Pros and cons to owning both free weights and strength training machines. Machines are relatively safe to use in comparison to free weights. Yeah, if you're an amateur, okay? And even still, just keeping form, okay? And specifically targeting muscles, because if you're just doing a standing barbell or just the standing dumbbell curl, as opposed to a structured setup like a preacher curl, okay, that's targeting specifically, if you line everything up properly, that's specifically going after your bicep. But if you're doing a standing barbell curl, okay, not only do you have to take into account that you need to have good balance, okay, by looking forward, but you can theoretically, if you're wanting to, okay, throw your arms forward a little bit and work your anterior parts of your deltoid. I wouldn't recommend it. That's just stupid form. But you also have to work your stabilizers and your like forearms and all of that extra stuff as well by doing proper form such as that. And then you can also squeeze at the back, and then you'll have ample exercise for your triceps at the time. But that's just extra stuff that's out there. Okay. And then again, yeah, if you're working alone, On a strength training machine, you don't need the spotter, okay? Because if you ended up hitting failure before you had the opportunity to complete your set, there's no real damage, okay? You can let go of a machine and, hey, it might sound bad, it might create a lot of noise, but at the end of the day, unless it's a rickety machine that's not being properly maintained, you're not going to break it or anything like that. As opposed to if you're doing curls or presses or anything like that, dropping something like that, that could be a big problem, okay? So again, you got to work smart. And I'm sure that's what they'll line up there, but I'm just going ahead and highlight this little paragraph at the bottom. If you have a budget concern, free weights are fairly inexpensive compared to machines. Yeah, exactly. They also take up much less space and they're easier to tuck away. And now with the availability of adjustable weight dumbbells, which I highly recommend, I have the 10 to 90 pound ones, but you can get 10 to 52.5 with 2.5 pound increments, obviously, but the 90 pounds are 5 pound increments. But so even still, yeah, you can have an entire dumbbell rack in about yay big package. So it's great. Dumbbells, bars, and plate weights. Yeah, again, if you can get them adjustable, but they do take up a lot of space and you have to have specified racks and all of that other stuff, okay? Which could seem like extra, but see what they're talking about here. Having various increments of weights can allow for more options depending on the exercise. A dumbbell rack or dumbbell tree can store your weights in less space and you can tuck away dumbbells under your bed. Dumbbells are a nice addition to a home gym because they can do a lot of work in all of the major muscle groups, including your arms, chest, shoulders, legs, back, delts. Oh, they already had shoulders and everything. You can get a full body workout with a dumbbell. Okay, I guarantee it. Okay, if you want the look and feel of a fitness center, you can purchase a bar and some plates along with a bench. Yeah, just make sure that you have the right catches and everything on there, but instead of just a bar and some plates, just get a squat rack. Save yourself a lot of time. You can just get a flat bench or something like that if you want to do bench press on it, but squats are better for you anyways. Take safeguards to ensure the plate weights, yes, can fall off. Okay, like, yeah, if you come to failure on a barbell, okay, like you always hear those hack stories where it's like, oh my god, somebody died when they let the barbell roll onto their neck. Okay, I've found myself in a stupid situation like that before, okay, where you just go to failure and then it lands on your chest and then you just have to kind of with shame roll the barbell onto your knees and you stand, just get to the bottom and then you just stand up and then you rack it and you rest for a little bit and maybe in shame put on some lower weights. Okay, everybody's done it if you've been to the gym long enough. At least that's what I'll tell myself to cope harder, I guess. But yeah, no, if you're pressing with plates at home, make sure you either have some of those quick release collars or just don't with collars if you're advanced enough where you aren't worrying about unequal weight on both sides, where you're not throwing up your right hand and then keeping your left hand down and your plates fall off and you create yourself an injury situation. But if you come to a point of failure, you can just easily get rid of the weight that's on both sides, if of course you don't want to do the roll of shame. Okay, so an exercise ball, yeah, no, they're fun and all, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're necessary, but if you're doing just body weight exercises, yeah, they definitely help, okay? If you're just looking at setting up just a simple non-mechanical setup for your home gym, yeah, resistance bands, exercise balls, go for it, okay? And then, yeah, specifically for rehab, okay, because you can do, yes, wall squats assisted with a exercise ball. You can also do kind of modified chest press on it as well. They're very, very versatile. I forgot the name. Jeez, that's tough. Yeah, a myriad of exercises can be done with an exercise ball. Yeah, you can probably do, I'd have to sit down and think about it, but immediately it comes to mind, you can get a full body workout out of an exercise ball. Don't quote me though. Yeah, you can. Anyways, a jump rope. Yep, excellent cardiovascular exercise there. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. Just make sure that you have proper headroom when it comes to using a jump rope as well. Very cheap, very, very cheap, from about $5 to $30 if you want one with like a built-in counter. They're great. Exercise bands and mats. Yeah, if you don't have cables or anything like that, you can have a litany of the different tubes that are out there, okay, for different resistance, but then it also helps to have like a hook or something like that if you want to do flies or rows or anything like that. that, yeah, no, exactly. Exercise bands are great. You can hook them under your foot, depending on the size that you have. And again, just having a different array of exercise bands will help you, from just the elastic band style to, yes, the tubes as well. And if you're looking specifically, get one of a lighter resistance and then a thicker tubed one if you're looking for that, if you're getting a more extensive setup. Okay, cardiovascular equipment, yeah, you can go for a run. It doesn't matter where you're at. Again, I live in northern Alberta, okay, where you'll get to 40 or 50 below in the winters. And then, even though so far it hasn't been the case during the summer so far, but I know it's not quite summer yet, but even still, you can get outside of like maybe like a hurricane or something like that, where you physically can't even stand up to run. I get it. I understand. But just to leave the excuses at the door, okay? But yeah, if you have an opportunity to get, like, say, an exercise bike, that would be cool. If you could get that, okay? I personally have an elliptical trainer because it's just a different type of exercise that you can't really get from running, okay? It's a different stride, okay? It's a different incline because, unfortunately, it's Grande Prairie, which is in French, large, flat area. So, as you know, probably not a lot of hills to be running up around here, at least ones that have a degree of difficulty within, moderation, because I go different places. There's a hill in Muskasippi. If I just dodge some homeless folks, I'd be able to run up that if I was so inclined. Or I could put on some resistance and put a little incline on the elliptical trainer to fulfill that need. So, yeah, if you can find some on some of the local buy and sells, by all means, highly recommend it. But when it comes to a treadmill, they're clunky, they're large, and again, pavement's free. Go do that. But then, yeah, at the end of the day, if you don't want to get any of the equipment, if you're very, very, very strapped on space, bodyweight exercises, dude. Okay, calisthenics, they work. Okay, they've been the go-to for a reason for a very, very, very long time. Okay, and you can get even more ingenuitive when it comes to adding additional resistance. You probably got some big old books on your shelf that you can use for additional weight. Okay, if you're doing squats and you're thinking that they're too easy, well, just do another set. Okay, or grab something heavy. Okay, grab a jug of milk, fill it up with water. Okay, grab a pot or grab a pan. Okay, put a topper on it, use that as additional weight. Trust me, we had some exercises when I was going through school, because I've actually got a degree for this shit. Whatever. So yeah, there are no excuses that I haven't heard, haven't been able to break through on resistance. So you have no excuse. There is no excuse to be a fat, disgusting mess in 2022. All of the information is out there. It is free. It is easily accessible. And again, there is so much choice that's out there. If your gym was shut down in 2020, guess what? It's 2022. You had the opportunity to get yourself in shape. And if you aren't doing that right now, I don't know why you're watching this video, actually, because I've just been denigrating you for the past little while. So get off your ass and get exercising. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.